Hey, I'm Casey Currie. Welcome to my podcast. This is podcast number 2, which is now called Where to Next. We have changed the name to basically fit in with exactly where we're going and what we're doing next. So right now, I am 3 days away from trail emissions. We've had a incredible couple weeks at home. We won the Baja 500 down in Mexico in our class of Ultra 4, which was a very challenging race for us. But now we are changing gears, and we have been working on our Jeeps like crazy inside of our shop at Casey Currie Motorsports here in Corona, California. And we have the Jeep JK truck ready to go down to Baja. We have made some slight changes to the vehicle to try some new things. We are trying out the new Fox 2.0 electric shocks on the Jeep. And I am bringing my wife and my 2 boys, 2 and 4 years old, down to Mexico. So it's my youngest first time ever across the border. Cameron Steele, who is the organizer of Trail Emissions, I'm actually going to invite him onto the show tonight and give us a little breakdown of what Trail Emissions is all about and how it works. And, to me, I'm a firm believer in everything Cameron does. He does a phenomenal job hosting these events. He does a very good job of taking care of all the people on the trip. He is a family man himself, and he understands what it takes to bring down babies, as his daughter has come down to Baja basically since she was a baby, and now has grown up and is a little bit older girl that's in school and has stories of her own, and that's what I want my boys to have. So I'm interested to learn more of what Cameron does. I want everyone to know how this trip works, where we're going, and the amount of effort that he puts into these events. It's incredible of what we do and how we do it. And, this event, don't have to do anything more than get my own vehicle ready. We're going to be down in Baja for 7 days. I'm actually arriving to Cabo, and I have to fly home early to get to another event. So I don't get to relax and hang out in Cabo San Lucas for 3 or 4 days with everybody and then, do the journey home. I'm going to do the drive down dirt roads all the way to Cabo. And then once we arrive, I have to book it to back to Auto Enthusiast Day here in Anaheim, California. But right now, I'm going to get Cameron Steele on the phone and rap with him and really understand more of what Trail Emissions is all about. All right, guys. Well, I got Cameron Steele on the phone, the creator of the Trail Emissions, actually one of my absolute most favorite events of the year. I started going with my dad. I've been with my uncles. I've been with some of my best friends. And now I actually bring my wife, and I brought my son last year, and now I'm bringing both my boys. And to me, it is one of the highlights of my year. And with Cameron, all I want to do is go over the event. I want to know all about it, where we're going, what we're doing, and the exciting parts of the trip, where people out in the world want to listen and follow in, and where they can follow.
Well, for sure, Casey. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to have you back on Trail Emissions. Of course, we strive to have something a little different, and with some change-ups every year. We're going to some pretty incredible places. We're going to see some places for the first time ever, me included. First time ever seeing something in Baja, which you can't always say. And you can see the Trail Emissions unfold on social media through Desert Assassins, Monster Energy, X Games. And then everybody else's social, BF Goodrich and Fox, big parts of it. So those companies, of course, will be posting stuff, but then everybody else's companies will post as well. So you can follow along with pictures and short videos, and then eventually it'll culminate in the ABC World of X Games special, which will air on a weekend, I believe, in August. And last year we were super fortunate to have a really great rating and lots of people watch and lots of good feedback, so fired up about it for sure.
So that's awesome. So it is on TV again, and X Games is still a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. World of X has been a part of it for this will be the 3rd year, if I'm not mistaken, and it's been really great because it gives us a great avenue. ABC has lots of eyeballs, and X Games, of course, is very well respected, and it gives us the ability to showcase some of our athletes. This year, X Games perennial favorite in the vert ramp, I believe 14 gold medals overall, Jamie Beswick is with us, and of course you're with us, winning Portugal King of Hammers and a lot of other stuff, and just an overall amazing spokesman for off-road. Justin Lofton is coming with us,
Awesome.
who's a multiple-time Mint 400 winner and a guy who shows a lot of speed qualifying and racing, and we love to hate him because he's so good. And then Ricky Brabeck, who is a factory Honda rider for the Monster Energy Honda team at Dakar. He built the Raptor through our Baja HQ, and he's coming along and bringing his dad. So the vibe that we share on dirt bikes, he's going to share with his dad inside the Raptor. So I'm very stoked to be a part of that. But, that on top of some other great races like Steve Olligus and Cody Wagner from the rock racing world. And we've got a lot of new faces as well, people that haven't spent any time in Baja. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. And like on that note, I mean, just to bring it up, like how do you even pick who goes? Because I know there's so many people that want to go, and I mean, me personally get hundreds of people that are asking how. And I mean, what do you pick for people that want to go down to Baja and do your adventures?
Totally honest about this. It comes down to fit, persistence, organization, equipment, people vouching for them. So for us, we're not a tour company, so we don't just make up a tour and have people come and we advertise it and try to get as many people as possible. We try to nail it down to a certain number of people. We do this trip one time a year to Cabo, or trail missions, I should say. And so we get a lot of different people asking. We get quite a bit of different people, even from other countries. And really it's come down to trying to pair the equipment to make it all fit, because, we've had some differences in equipment in the past, and it's kind of hard. People aren't quite as ready, and we end up waiting. We also, I like it when we get people we don't know, but we like to be able to vouch for them and know that they have some off-road experience, or at least are great people. So it's really a hodgepodge of how people get chosen, and whether it's hundreds of people asking to go on this trip or 10 people, it doesn't really matter. It's still really important to make a great fit, and that's what we strive for. This year, a lot of the messages, we have a lot of great personalities race-wise, but we also have a lot of great families, and that's exciting for us too, because kids are a big part of it, and sharing that stoke with the kid, and all of us with the kids is important. I don't know if I said that exactly correctly, but it's definitely a big part of it for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, the kid thing, I mean, obviously I'm a dad I got a little 4-year-old, but, and a 2-year-old, or 3-year-old. And, no, it's cool. Cause I mean, I would never bring my boys down to a race with all the chaos going on and all the chase and too many people on the highway and the race is going too fast to bring my boys down and to have the opportunity to share something that obviously I'm passionate about and ridden dirt bikes down there and obviously with you. And, but now to get them both down there and to see everything that we get to see is amazing. So I like the family aspect for sure.
For sure. And I think the cool thing is that a guy like you, who's a very well-regarded, well-known racer, can come down there and you can share your experience, not only with your kids, but with other people that only know you from seeing you on TV or on the web or whatever. But you're sharing that experience with your kids, but at the same time, you're standing back watching your kids share that experience with other kids and other personalities. And for me, that's a great part of it, because, we can share, Heidi and I can share with Kay endlessly, our daughter, 6 years old, but it's super cool for us to watch the other kids share with her, and then the other adults give them the input, because eventually some other adult has to say, hey, let's go do this, or hey, don't do this. And so they get a different dose of it, but they also get to see all these different views from other people's eyes. And I think it's really cool. It's a big part of it is just the hodgepodge of people that I really like.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't even know the family, but there's another family that has 2 kids that are the exact same age as my kids. So it's funny you say that, because that's actually something that inside that I never really thought of until you just said it, is that I'm excited for them to actually be able to be around people that are their same age in a totally different area than home and going to school. So that's actually funny that you say that. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, it's cool. And your kids have experienced the active lifestyle. Those kids that are the exact same age as your kids are actually a really great friend of ours, the Schmalhoffers that we hang out with. and we go to the gym 3 days a week together, and this is their very first time to Baja. So they've never, I mean, they owned a house in Ocotillo Wells and they ride dirt bikes and stuff, but they've never experienced Baja. So your kids or Ryan is going to get to share his experience, and a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of comfort with those kids, to be able
Yeah.
to tag them along.
No, it's amazing. So that's even cooler to hear that. So nope, it makes me exciting. So I mean, and now back to the event though, Cam. Like where we're going. I know there's some places that you don't really like to talk about, but I mean, as far as the places that we go and the hotels and the safety of Baja and all that. Like my biggest thing about like my podcast and what I want to do is I want everyone to know that first, like whether they're going to go down the trail missions or watch trail missions, but what I want to do is give the people the insight that hey, where we're going and the places we're going is like, not only do you like to give back and everyone around you gives back is, but are these places safe and can anyone go down and see, the Baja that you see?
Well, that's the beautiful part of Baja. Basically anybody can go, and my disclaimer is that you always got to plan for yourself. You always got to organize smartly, and you got to make your own decisions. People can influence you. You can see videos, you can see pictures, social media, and you can see places that you like. But I think it's imperative that people do their own research and decide what's good for them and what's a smart decision. But most all the places that we're staying are frequented by off-roaders and eco tours and surfers, fishermen. There's so many people that are on the peninsula enjoying the amazing people and the amazing vistas. It's crazy, there's places like Catavina, which are on Highway 1, and, people are going to drive right through. Same with San Ignacio. Those are a couple of places that we love to go to, and they're very familiar to people, very easy, but, like San Ignacio, I think sometimes people just drive through and they don't even know that there's a beautiful mission there and a town square and ice cream to be had, and that's part of the exploration, just getting off the highway and taking a look. But it's always hard for people to make that time. But that's part of the sharing, let people see what it is and make their own opinion whether they should go there. The along the Sea Cortez and the Conception Bay, we're going to see, Santa Rosalia, Mulaje, Loreto. We'll be, driving by Sanispac and Aracasan, which is the two-sided beach. And all those places are readily available. I mean, the sites are less than a quarter mile off of Highway 1, and in the most part either closer than that or even paved to get to. So it's not very adventurous when you're talking about just going to some of those sites. I mean, you can get off the grid real easy.
Yeah.
And it's overly adventurous for some people, and they're not prepared. So that's why I talk about you got to make that time to make a good plan and get good data and decide what's good for you. But man, there are so many cool places to go and see. And even, like I said, just along Highway 1, there are some absolute bangers. I mean, real quickly thinking about it, we'll actually be staying along Highway 1 four of the 7 nights that we're doing it, So I mean,
wow.
it's not like we're super far off the grid.
Yeah.
But some of the places we'll travel to along the way will be very remote.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, that's what my biggest thing is pushing what you just said, going to those places that are, that sometimes, people don't feel like going that far off Highway 1 or getting that far away from any big town, but to know that there is places out there that are beautiful and are the right to anybody. And that safety, my biggest thing is trying to go anywhere we go that, we play by the rules and we don't do anything that put us or our families in danger.
Right. I mean, well, we always try to make smart decisions and make good decisions as a group. We talk to the locals, we talk to people, and we work with the government, the places that we're going, and we try to put ourselves in good positions. And I think some of the easy rules are don't drive a bunch at night. It's just there's livestock on the road, and the roads are small and narrow, and people's lights are bright. I mean, right, that's just like one of the easy rules to follow by. And so that's why we try to do all of our driving in the day, then try to go to places that, people are frequenting, and there's going to be other tourists there, or there's, been other people off-roading there. Just, try to put it in smart decisions. It really comes down to not making a bad decision. And like I always say on Rip to Cabo, if you think it's a bad idea, it definitely is, and you don't want to make risky decisions. And I think a lot of that comes back to just common sense and people not making a fool of themselves by making a bad decision.
Yeah, for sure. Nope, I agree. But so now I'm back. I got some other questions for you, Cam. This is a massive event as far as logistics, the organization, and what you bring down to the event. I mean, can we talk about it? I mean, I'm looking at some of the emails going through. I mean, you really have a huge amount of people that support what you do and support basically all of us to make it this amazing event. I mean, do you want to talk about it? I mean, what you bring and
Sure.
how you make it happen? It's amazing to me to see what you do.
Sure. Well, the way it works basically is we normally go on a trip like Trail of Missions. We come home, and a group of us will digest. We'll send out an email to the group. Give us your likes, the loves, the likes, the ands, the I'd rather not do it again. And we take that into consideration. We get with our planning group. More or less, there's 4 or 5 of us that are really core of the planning. I could tell you it's Cody Stewart, who's my navigator, my trophy truck, Azam Flores, who's been with us a long time, big time Baja traveler, Currie Fowler, who owns a place in Scorpion Bay, and Ryan Thomas, who obviously is a 5-time Baja 1000 winner. We talk a lot about the routes, the ideas, the planning. Heidi gets involved. We get the ladies involved. And we just start kind of hashing out, what have we done? What was great? What could we do again? What could we do better? And the bottom line is we start trying to figure out, how we can fit X number of people in different places, and where there's decent hotels or good hotels, and where there's real personality and flavor. We love going to places that have personality. Like we love El Rosario because Antonio Baja Cactus and the Mama Espinosa's people, family, so great, so gracious. But the same goes for Melon Ranch, Mike Sky Rancho. The people of Vizcaíno are unbelievable. San Ignacio has a great amount of people that are just awesome. So we just kind of start developing a plan, and we start thinking about, okay, what would you like to do that you haven't done, or what are these big items that maybe would be like a cornerstone for people to see? Whether it's one of the couple secret beaches that we keep the names off the map, or whether it's a point that no one's ever been to, or a cave painting that no one's ever hiked to. We try to pick some of those and start developing a plan around that. And really, it's really a 10-month process. When we come out of the last trip, we get the feedback from our friends, and then we start breaking it down, and then we start trying to figure out what kind of chase and support gets involved. We have a caterer, Alec Ballin, AB Alpha-Grade Catering. He works with us. He goes on all of our big trips, and we try to figure out where the food service could be the most epic, where it's, if it's going to be a hot day, where can it be cool, where can we get along the ocean, and we start planning backwards from there and figure out how the day is going to work. With this trip, we have an ABC TV show, lots of social media. Fox sends 2 cameramen who are in charge of shooting photos and populating social media for as many as 15 different brands, as well as X Games. And then on top of that, we have our television crew that's led by Neil Goss, who's been doing it with us since 2010, if I'm not mistaken. And we have that crew that embeds inside the trucks of people. So, we have support vehicles for all of that. And then on top of that, we have support vehicles on the highway, as well as a helicopter, and then support vehicles on the trail, and multiple medics that are placed inside the trucks. And it's a big moving puzzle, but the cool part is that we get to integrate all those parts. Everybody's one big group, one big family. No one's per se just Chase. No one's just a guest. Everybody's kind of the same. Everybody puts their pants on the same every morning. So the logistics is massive. And, we have someone that just 100% works with the governments of North and South Baja to secure all that information and pass that along and organizes our meetings. It's pretty cool to see that a lot of the people involved are people that have been a part of Rip to Cabo or Trail of Missions or our other trips for a long time. And some of them are really, riders or people that have come on the trips that have just jumped in and want to do it. And the same thing goes for Rip to Cabo. We now are giving riders days. Guys will come to us and say, hey, I want to plan this day, and I think this is what we should do. And we say, okay, you take the day and make it happen. And so it's just kind of a committee. It's not all me. It's not all Heidi. It's not just the two of us. There's a big group of people that get involved to make it happen.
No, it's awesome. So now you guys really do a phenomenal job and make Baja amazing for anybody that wants to go down there with their family or even with their friends. So
yeah, and that's the cool part about the trip. I mean, I think we still, we have a pretty big family aspect, but we still have a big footprint with stars, so to speak. And also we have people that are, just a couple guys that want to go down and join us. And every once in a while we get random requests and people fit in, and it works out great. Back before we did trail admissions, we did a truck trip that really was the precursor to trail admissions. And these guys sent us a message. They heard about it, and they sent us a message, and we're like, well, who do you know? We don't know anybody. We know nobody. We're like, huh. I got on the phone with them. I had 3 or 4 other people call them, which is kind of how it works for new people if they don't have someone that's directly connected. And we had these guys come along. This was 7 years ago or 6 years ago. They've been on virtually 2 trips a year since then with us. And just a couple guys that love to go to Baja and love to hang out, and they're a lot of fun, and they've ended up racing the Nora with some other friends and the score races with people that they've met on our trips. And that's the great part, is the extension of the people. And some of our greatest friends have come from hosting these trips. And I'll be honest, sometimes it feels like you're beating your head against the wall when you're trying to plan it or organize it or whatever. But when you finally get to hang out with everybody and the relationships that are built. We were just at a wedding this weekend with someone we would have never met had they not wanted to go on Rip to Cabo. And they had someone call us and vouch for them to go on the trip. We let him go, and now he's become a medic on our trips. And last week we were at a wedding, and there was at least, I'd say, 30 people at the wedding that were from trail admissions in Rip to Cabo because of that relationship that was built around those trips.
No, it's amazing. That's super rad, and it's actually funny because I actually have a story very similar. I was actually just racing in Africa on the Merzoga Rally, and I had 2 guys at different times that knew nothing about racing at all come up to me, and one of them knew me from riding Rip to Cabo and seeing it on TV, and another guy knew me from watching me drive my Jeep on trail missions. They knew literally nothing about my racing. They didn't know that I even raced off-road. They didn't know anything about the hammers. They only knew me because I rode dirt bikes and drove Jeeps on the trail missions and Rip to Cabo.
It's crazy. We get messages all the time from people, in different states, but more importantly in different countries. And the ABC show, I don't want to quote the exact numbers, but I can tell you it's well over 100 million homes in the United States that the show is available to. But there's such a giant number of countries that it goes to, and the worldwide number is in the hundreds of millions of homes that it's available. And I can't quote where it goes and how it goes or when it goes. But it's really cool to know that those shows are going out there. And the same is true for, the shows that we do on other networks. We do a lot of shows with CBS Sports, and they repurpose those shows all over the place. And so the reason why we did this year, we did a trip to Portugal with 14 dirt bikers. I know you went to Portugal and had a good experience, and I took your feedback. But I had a guy from Portugal who'd watched the Rip to Cabo on TV there, and he reached out to us and said, hey, I can host you guys in Portugal. And we started that conversation, and within 7 months, we went from meeting each other on the internet, sending him tens of thousands of dollars via wire transfer, having never met him, and then going there and having an excellent experience, and all because he saw our show on TV, and he runs a tour company and reached out to us and said, hey, let's go. And it was like, that's how simple it was.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. That is a phenomenal story. So
yeah, the camaraderie of the off-road community is very cool. The people are amazing, and we're so fortunate to be able to be in a position where people like Monster and our other sponsors support not only the racing but the adventuring and the television and the media and we're able to share it because I really, at the end of the day, I don't, you know, you can win a lot of races, but being able to share great moments with people and share the beauty of different places is way more my cup of tea than just winning or running in front on a couple races.
Oh, absolutely. And I honestly think in today's age with all the social media going on, I think there's a lot of kids and teenagers and adults that to them watching a race isn't that exciting when now you can go out and buy a Ford Raptor, a Jeep, a Can-Am, a Polaris and go out and have your own adventures and create your own stories. So, I mean, I just think you were ahead of your time when you started all these trips.
I appreciate that. And I totally echo your sentiment because, you know, we've had, I think we've had 7 Raptors now that we've had, and every single one of them has been phenomenal. We get in the Jeeps. It's unbelievable. You see the UTVs. I mean, everybody's equipment is so good, and we don't promote any one brand specifically.
Yeah.
But I am impressed by everybody's stuff because literally, I mean, you got to do some planning and a little bit of upgrades would be great, but you can take a lot of stuff right off the showroom floor and have a really good off-road experience. And it's just shocking how much good equipment is out there right now. And it's a great time in off-roading, and people are still thinking about it, still developing. I mean, we're driving. I mean, just for example, you know, the JL comes out and there's all these new advancements. The new Raptor comes out, and, you know, we're going to have electronic adjustable suspension on the
awesome.
Raptors coming up. It's just like, and then you look at the UTVs, what Can-Am and Polaris are doing, and everybody, Yamaha, Honda has a new one. It's just like, holy crap, it's just so amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that coming back to where you're at, though, I think that these events, man, I really think that people want to watch and look at what we're doing so they can go and partake, because I think that there's a lot more people interested in driving now than just sitting back on the couch and watching.
Well, I think that overall, I mean, for the good and bad of it, social media has changed the landscape. You know, there's a lot of people that suddenly have a voice to be negative that didn't have one before, but at the same time, a lot of people have a voice to be positive and to share good stuff and images. And, you know, we're getting to watch things like the Baja 1000 or Dakar or the King of the Hammers through social media and be able to be impacted by all that. And then, you know, being able to put our own spin on it. You know, spin's not the right word, but put our own look to it.
Yep. And
do our own thing and be able to share it. It's just cool, you know. And I'm actually sitting right in front of the list of all the people going on trail missions, and such a wide variety of people. And I'm so excited to be able to share it with so many different faces. You know, even like the guys from Baja Bound Insurance, who are basically the premier, you know, insurance company in Baja, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there's a lot of great companies. Don't get me wrong. They're coming on our trip. One of the primaries is with his family so that they can come and experience, you know, the way we're all doing it together. And it's just a rad deal, you know. I love everybody that comes on the trip.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I totally agree. Well, Cameron, I really, really appreciate taking the time right before this chaotic event and getting on the phone with me. And we'll see you in a couple of days, and I really appreciate it, the phone call.
For sure. I'm stoked. And thank you, Casey, for being a big believer. I mean, you and your family have been massive on trail missions. We've always had a great friendship and partnership, but also back to Rip the Cabo and all the things we've done, man. It's cool to be able to share it. And, you know, you do your thing, we do our thing, but we all end up doing it together and just laughing all the way.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in a couple of days.
Right on. Much love, brother.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
I really want to thank Cameron Steele for getting on my podcast and opening it up and tell everybody what it's all about. I mean, Trail Missions, absolutely one of my favorite events of the year. The catering, the hotels, the logistics, the medics, the helicopters, the chase, his whole support. I mean, all his people, they're phenomenal. They do a really, really good job. And I'm excited to be down in Baja once again. It's been less than a month since the Baja 500, and I'm excited to be back down there. And I'm excited to bring my boys. And after talking just on this podcast, it really makes me excited to just be driving my Jeep and not having to be worrying about the logistics of racing and all the stress with my crew and everything. So it's awesome to go. You guys really need to check it out. Obviously, on my social media, on my Instagram, Facebook, I'll be posting almost every single day when I have cell phone service. We will be posting up on all of the Cameron Steele, Desert Assassin media channels, Monster Energy, X Games. We'll all be posting up as well, so check them all out. And then the cool thing is everyone can watch this show in a couple months on ABC, which is amazing for me as a driver because I want everybody to see what we do. And by listening to this, I hope you guys can follow along and check out the adventure. And really, I want more people to come down to Baja. I want more people to go on trips with Cameron Steele, whether you're a dirt bike rider or a truck driver. Come down, check it out. And, for me, where to next? Subscribe to the podcast. Comment, let me know what we should do next, where we should go, and if you want to see or hear anything else. Thank you guys so very much, and we'll be back here soon.